Good evening and welcome. We are so glad that you've joined us today for our Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admission Officers virtual college fair. Today's session is a webinar, so we can't see you nor can we hear you, but we are glad that you've joined us and our presenters are happy to answer whatever questions that you might have. You can ask those questions by using the Q&A function and our presenters will respond to you in kind. This is our last block of sessions for today, but there will be a future college fair. So keep your eyes on the website at which you registered for this program, and we will be happy to see you again later this spring. And then finally, we are recording this session as well as all of the sessions for the virtual college fair. So if there are schools that you missed or schools that you'd like to go back and review, you certainly can do that. Just go right to strivescan.com/Carolinas. So that said, my housekeeping is done. I would like to introduce our first presenter from the University of California, Irvine.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Michelle Burns, and I'm so excited to take a few minutes today to share just a little bit about University of California, Irvine with you. So just to let you all know, I am a regional admission counselor, which means I'm based out on the East Coast. So same time zone as you all. I might have gotten to see some of you virtually visiting your schools this fall, and hopefully we'll get to see you in person sometime in 2021. But just to give you a little bit of background about UCI, we are part of the University of California family. There are 9 institutions within the UC system. We are one of the 9. We're a well-known, well-ranked system across the country and around the world as well. Of the 9 institutions, 5 of us are ranked in the top 10. UCI is ranked number 8 currently amongst all public universities in the country. And we serve as the research branch for the state of California. Irvine, if you haven't been to California before and you haven't heard of Irvine, that's all right. A lot of people haven't, but we are in a beautiful location. We're just about 45-ish minutes south of LA and about an hour-ish north of San Diego, always depending both on traffic and on who's driving. And we are ranked the #1 school for beach lovers. I'm not sure how they come to that conclusion, but we will take it. We are just 10 minutes from Newport Beach and then have 3 other beaches within 30 minutes of us. For your parents to know as well, we are ranked as one of the safest large cities in the country. We have just under 300,000 folks that live in Irvine, but it is a really safe community and we're always aware of that and keeping our students safe on campus as well. While you're in Orange County, there are a number of great things to do. So in addition to being close to the beach, we have great hiking and biking around the area, lots of fun concerts and art venues to attend, and then just getting to spend time outdoors with friends or heading over to Disneyland, which is just about 25 minutes away. And we know it's important to have all of those things available to you and have that great college experience. The other nice thing about being in Irvine is that we are a location that has 1/3 of all Fortune 500 companies that has some sort of headquarters or offices there. We also have a number of research firms in the neighborhood and then a number of tech firms down there as well. So you'll see a lot of startup companies and a lot of big names as well, which is giving you access to those research and internship opportunities while you're in school. It's not at all unusual to hear of a second-year student or sophomore at UCI who's working for Google or working for Blizzard Entertainment. So a lot of those great opportunities to have that active learning. Speaking of learning, we have a lot of different majors for you to choose from, 14 different schools. Obviously, I don't have time today to go through all of them, but you're always welcome to come to one of our longer weekly presentations where we can dig in a little bit more to these majors. An important thing for you to know is that we do focus on an interdisciplinary approach. It's completely fine to have more than one focus, and we really encourage students to seek out and take those classes in other areas that they're interested in. You might want to emphasize in something else, double major, or add a minor onto your program. You can also enter undeclared. You don't have to know what you want coming in. Just to give you a sense of what this looks like, we were built in the 60s, so we're built in a circle, built in 1965, and really that was when they were starting to think of like, oh, all of these different disciplines connect. So our life on campus and how we interact on campus really echoes our belief in how we learn as well, and we want all of those things to be connected too. A little bit about what I was talking about just a minute ago with those internships and project-based learning. Since we do have access to all those great companies down in Southern California, a number of them will actually work with our students for classroom projects. So you might be in a class where you're working for Google or for Disney or for Broadcom, and you're solving problems for them or innovating a new product. That gives you the connection where you get to have that great experience in the classroom, have the support of your professors and classmates, while also getting to have that networking opportunity and getting those internship and job opportunities. We do have a study abroad program that we share with our UC sister institutions, as well as hosting our own study abroad programs, and cool study away programs like our UC DC program, where you can live in DC for a quarter or for the summer with students from all 9 of the UC institutions. Going over to our diversity, when we ask students what's one of your favorite things or why did you choose UCI, I hear so many of them mention the diversity is one of the reasons. We are a minority serving institution. We're really working to be a minority thriving institution and always evaluating ways that we can be better and do better. But I love to hear students sharing that they learned something from cultural share outs and getting to hear and learn about other students' experiences. We also want to support you with our International Center, Veteran Services, Disability Services Center, and our LGBTQ Resource Center as well. And finally, you got to have some fun as well. So we are a Division I school for sports in the Big West Conference. We have over 600 different clubs and student organizations, and we have a pretty cool mascot too. Our mascot is Peter the Anteater. Again, you can come to one of our sessions to hear a little bit more about how Peter became our mascot. If you're a gamer, we do also have one of the top esports programs in the country. So there's a little bit of something for everybody at UCI. Last thing I'll mention is our application. We do not do early action or early decision. We're not on the Common App. It's one application for any of the 9 UC campuses. We are test free as a system. So even if you are submitting test scores, we will not use test scores for any admissions-based or merit aid decisions. Last thing I'll leave you with is to know that you are welcome to connect with us at any time. We have weekly campus presentations on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. for any prospective students, and you're welcome to schedule a one-on-one appointment with us as well. Thank you so much and have a great day learning about all these wonderful places.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Unfortunately, our representative from Soka University of America could not be with us tonight, so we're going to press on and hear from Macquarie University in Sydney.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Leanne and I represent Macquarie University in Sydney, Australia. For anyone who's worried that Australia is on the other side of the world, I promise it's not that far away. You just need to get to the West Coast and then it's about a 12-hour flight down to Sydney from there. And it's a direct flight. But if you're trying to talk your family into thinking it's a good idea, I always suggest telling them that Hawaii is a good halfway meeting point for if you don't want to come back home, you can meet in Hawaii. So Macquarie is located in Sydney, which is a stunning city, as you can see here with the Sydney Harbour Bridge. The Macquarie campus is actually located about 20 minutes from the downtown area of Sydney, and the train goes across the bridge. So it gives me a little faith in humanity. People look up from their smartphone technology and just take in the beauty of the city. But you as a student have the best of both worlds, a big cosmopolitan city experience with these stunning beaches, as you can see here. This is Bondi Beach, which is one of 2 famous beaches in Sydney. The other is Manly. And fun fact for you, if you saw one new beach in Australia every day, it would take 27 years to see them all. And so you can also retreat back to campus, which is a stunning Parklands University. We have about 40,000 students, and of that, there are 12,000 international students, so an incredibly diverse student population. I did international relations at the university, and to be studying in an environment, people from literally all over the world makes it so much more impactful. A lot of students ask what's it like to study in Australia, and honestly Australian students want a similar university experience to US students. We have all the clubs and associations and a very vibrant campus life. As you can see here, this is our Macquarie mascot. The university is named after the 5th governor of New South Wales, who was Scottish, hence why we have a guy in the quilt. We also have a fantastic sports and aquatic centre, and as you can see, this is one of our 2 pools. on campus. And I do like to point that out because the weather is nice enough to allow for an outdoor pool. If it's below 60 degrees in winter, we'll complain it's too cold. If it's above 90 degrees in summer, we'll complain it's too hot. So in Sydney, we do like a very temperate, mild climate. And as I was saying, there are many clubs and associations for you to join, and I recommend joining as many as possible in your first couple of weeks just to become part of the community and find your people. Big difference is we don't have the NCAA outside of the US, but you can certainly play at the Australian University Games. So we are a comprehensive university in terms of our course offering. Here are sort of some of the classes that we do offer. Our most popular are our accounting, business administration, international business. We also have a really strong media and communications, as well as our security, counterterrorism, and cybersecurity programs. We specialize in software and telecommunications engineering. And fun fact for you, we actually invented Wi-Fi, so you're welcome. And we also have a really strong earth and environmental sciences degree that's very hands-on. You spend a lot of time out in the community, and you can also go up to the Great Barrier Reef, and some of our placements are further afield in Fiji and New Zealand as well. And finally, our flagship program, the Bachelor of Clinical Science and Doctor of Medicine program, is a 6-year degree, and you can become a doctor at the end of that program. Generally speaking, most of our degrees are actually 3 years in duration though, because we don't have general education requirements in Australia. So you do need to know what you want to study and you apply to a specific program at the university. You could definitely do a double degree as well if you wanted to, for example, a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Science, which would take you 4 years to complete. But you can certainly choose your own program as you go. I'm more than happy to offer advice on that. You can definitely live on campus as well if you would like to. We have about 3,000 beds on campus. It's not compulsory, it's not guaranteed, but as long as you apply early, you will definitely get a place. Generally speaking, you will have your own bedroom and you may share a bathroom, or you might have your own bathroom depending on which option you do choose. Meal plans are available, but they are based on where you live. So it's not specific to the university as you might find more commonly in the States. So how much does it all cost? I think one of the biggest myths about studying overseas is that it's crazy expensive, because honestly, I find it mind-blowing how expensive education is in the United States. On average, tuition's about $24,000. Cost of attendance is about, living costs, I should say, is about $15,000. And the total cost of attendance is approximately $40,000 per year. And that's all in flights, accommodation, insurance, all that fun stuff. And do keep in mind, it's a 3-year degree. So it can be far more affordable for a lot of students. You can use US financial aid. We are one of 200 universities outside of the United States where you can use that. We do have merit scholarships as well, and you're able to work while studying in Australia. A minimum wage is about $20 an hour, which is super helpful. It's, excuse me, it's free to apply to the university. And you apply direct to the university website. So you're able to do that at any time. We offer rolling admissions and no deadline. So as soon as you put in your application, you'll probably get a response within about 2 weeks. We don't require essays or recommendation letters either. It is very much an academic-based process, and we are currently test optional due to COVID-19. So once you have a place in the program, you can apply for scholarships, financial aid, and then purchase your overseas healthcare insurance and get your visa and come to Australia. And being in the Southern Hemisphere, our dates are a little different. We commence in the February, July, and November, so it's completely up to you when you start. And here is my information. Thanks so much for joining and enjoy the rest of the presentations.
Thank you so much. Well, we will stay in Australia now for the University of Melbourne.
Okay, good day, everyone. I'm Todd St. Vrain, the University of Melbourne's North America manager. So yes, we're going to take a virtual flight of about an hour and a half down to Melbourne, and let's get started. So welcome to Uni Melbourne, or as we say in the local Aboriginal language, Wominjeka. So Melbourne is a large public research-intensive university in the southern part of Australia. This is the beautiful Great Barrier Reef, which is about a 4-hour flight north of Melbourne. And imagine taking classes with Madeline Van Oppel, who is bioengineering heat-resistant coral to save the Great Barrier Reef. This is just one example of the kind of academic experience that you can have at Uni Melb. Consider us an Australian version of UNC Chapel Hill, which is actually one of our exchange partners. So this is our main campus. We're right in the heart of Melbourne, about 15 minutes from downtown, sandwiched in between the Melbourne Biomedical Precinct and our version of Little Italy. What I love about Australia is a very multicultural country, and our university is very international with nearly half international students. We are very large, and our undergraduate community of 25,000 undergraduate students does include several hundred American students. If there is an American community there if to reach out to. One of the interesting things about coming to Australia is that after graduation, you can international students can stay and work for 2 years after graduation, giving you options as to where you could begin your career. Leanne mentioned that it's standard in Australia that degrees are just 3 years, which is a savings in itself. And on the current exchange rate, our annual tuition is just above $30,000 a year in US dollars. And you can also use US FAFSA educational loans at Melbourne as well. Admissions is going to be based just on entry requirements, so no personal statements or extracurriculars. We'll get into the details of this in just a moment. And you're doing all of this in a city of about 4 million people. Our winters are maybe 40s, 50s, as opposed to Sydney, sometimes 4 seasons in a day. Melbourne is regarded as Australia's sports and cultural capital and the Silicon Valley of biotechnology. So we have streamlined our degrees into 8 options with over 150 majors. This might include a Bachelor of Agriculture. Arts is what we call liberal arts, and I've put in bold some of the more popular majors. An entire degree in biomedicine, we call business commerce. There's things in design, in the fine arts, music, and a plethora in the sciences, including engineering and IT. So we call degrees courses in Australia. So if you go to our Find a Course page, you can explore all the options for majors, and it might be in more than one degree. Now, our curriculum is quite unique in that 25% of your studies are what we call breadth subjects, anything of your choosing. Think of this as an light, gives you time to declare a major, explore your interests, all within 3-year degrees. If you want to extend to 4th year, we have these things called concurrent diplomas, or you could do a year of independent research as an honor student. If you're coming from a high school in the United States, guaranteed entry if you reach the minimum SAT or ACT score, a minimum GPA of 3.0 unweighted, and AP exams, and these do vary slightly per degree. We are not test optional, but we have test alternatives. So we have the Australian online STAT test or an aggregate of AP exams to meet the requirement instead of SAT or ACT. And if you are not presenting an AP exam, you really would have to present like syllabus of like a dual credit syllabus. We also have accepted guaranteed entry based on the International Baccalaureate. If there's any transfer students out there, it's really straightforward of just a 3.0 and only a handful of degrees that have specific requirements. As Leanne said, it is different down under. Our seasons are opposite, so our semesters. Semester 1 starts in March, and semester 2 starts in late July. You can actually start in either semester because core classes are offered every semester. For anyone who is looking to start in the second half of this year, that would be online as the borders do remain closed during the pandemic, but we are hopeful that things will reopen in time for 2022. Our application deadlines are very different from here in the US. My advice is just apply when you are applying to the universities in the US. We have rolling admissions. And if you want to apply early, but then defer, that's something that can be quite straightforward and standard in Australia. We all can guarantee accommodation. Just to confuse you, the dorms are called colleges. Those come with meal plans. We also have student apartments. Yes, in Australia, everyone gets their own rooms. Yes, we have lots of clubs and societies, as all great unis do, to have a bit of fun. Let's end with a campus tour. So we're about the size of the United States. Again, this is our main campus in the heart of the city, beautiful sandstone buildings. but also some very modern facilities and labs and lecture halls. Of course, we have to stop off at the underground car park because that's where we do things like film Mad Max movies. And this is classic Melbourne, the city of sports and culture and nature. So please get in touch if you'd like to reach out to have any more information about the University of Melbourne. I'm based in San Francisco. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Our next presenter, so we're going to leave Australia now, and our next presenter is from University College Dublin.
All right, yeah, thanks everyone. We're headed a little farther north, a little bit cooler temperatures. My name is Kendall. I am with the University College Dublin. I'm actually based in New York, but I do work with all of our students in the Mid-Atlantic and the Southeast region of the US. So why would you even consider Ireland? Why Dublin? It is such a small country. For being such a small country, it is very mighty. Ireland is very safe, friendly, and welcoming. I don't know if you have been there yourself or you've had friends or family go to Ireland, but I promise what they have said is true. It's often ranked as the world's friendliest country, and it's often in the top 10 to 12 safest countries as well. For being such a small country, like I said, it is mighty. We have people from all over the world coming to Ireland and to Dublin specifically, whether that's for school or for work. Dublin is incredibly youthful. I think it's over half of their population is under the age of 34 to 36 or so. So it's very bright, vibrant, very youthful. There's a great art scene, nightlife, music scene. It has a lot going for it, including the business scene as well. So you have a lot of people coming to Dublin for work. It is the EU headquarter capital. So like Facebook, LinkedIn, Airbnb, they all have their EU headquarters in Dublin, which makes for really great networking opportunities if you're interested in internships or connecting with alumni for jobs back here in the US. A little bit about UCD. We are just south of Dublin City Centre by about 2.5 to 3 miles or so. We're one of Ireland's oldest universities. We were founded in 1854. But for being such an old university, we do have a relatively modern campus. So you can see behind me in my background or in this photo, we do have more modern buildings, and we moved to what is known as our Belfield campus, just south of Dublin City Centre in the 60s. It only takes about 20 minutes on the bus to get from campus to the heart of downtown Dublin. Most importantly, our academics are excellent. We have a range of degree programs, A to Z, and we are in the top 1% of universities worldwide. We're ranked #1 university in Ireland again, which we are super proud of, but there are a lot of academic options for everybody. Like I mentioned, we do have a pretty modern campus, so it feels very similar to a traditional campus here in the US, like a big state public research institution here in the US. We have about 30,000 students, of which about 30%, about 8,000 or so, are international, coming from over 154 countries around the world. As a point of comparison, US institutions typically have 10% international students or fewer, so 30% is pretty big. You're not going to be the only one from the US. We have a familiar feeling campus between the amenities like the gym, the student life center, the libraries for different academic disciplines, the student clubs and organizations, career services. We really have it all. We have over 130 sports clubs and student orgs, so there's definitely something for everyone. I actually just learned recently that UCD has over 70 soccer teams. That's 70, kind of insane. So if you want to play soccer, if you really want to find anything else that suits your interest, there's definitely something available for you at UCD. It's a great way to find friends. We have about 3,000 students that live on campus. You have single bedrooms, but it feels more like an apartment on campus. So you have your own bedroom, but you share common facilities like a kitchen and living room with maybe 3 to 4 other students. We have 3,000 students on campus, which I just mentioned. We are constantly building, and we're about to increase that to about 4,000. We do guarantee housing for incoming international students for their first year, and we have a robust student residence life team as well. So we have RAs that live on campus with our students, and their job and their purpose is to build community within our housing options. As I mentioned earlier, we have a range of degree programs, A to Z, architecture to zoology, and they range between 3 to 4 years. I would say the vast majority of students on UCD's campus are there for the full 4 years, but it is possible to graduate earlier in 3. These are the colleges that UCD has on campus, and all of our programs fall within those colleges. Like many of my friends here, we don't have general education requirements, so you typically apply directly to the program you're most interested in studying. I do want to highlight, though, that UCD does have a unique program called the Liberal Arts and Sciences program. That program is very popular with our US students, and it gives you the flexibility to take classes across a variety of colleges for your first year or two before ultimately deciding which pathway you want to pursue and what degree you want to graduate with. There are 2 ways to apply. You can apply directly on our website or through the Common App. We're on the Common App. We get most of our US students through the Common App, so I would recommend that way just because it's easiest for you. We do primarily focus on academics only, but we did have several programs that were test flexible this year. We do have rolling deadlines until July 1st, but I recommend applying by December 1st if you would like to apply for our international student scholarships. We have about 80% of our international students receive some sort of monetary award. And all in, UCD is about $40,000 US, everything per year. So a little more expensive than staying in state, but certainly more affordable than going out of state or to a private school here in the US. I just want to say thank you. That is about it for me today. This is my contact information, and I'm happy to pop it into the chat as well. And I appreciate y'all's time today. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And our last presenter today is from Les Roches.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stacy Einhorn from Les Roches. I am based in South Florida, so I'm actually on the same time zone as you. I am the Southern States representative, and hopefully when things calm down with COVID this fall, we'll be able to visit you and your high schools in your region. My contact information is in the last slide of the presentation, so feel free to reach out with any questions. I'm going to focus my presentation on what makes our academics different, but our application process can be a little different as well. Some of my colleagues have shared we have our own application. We are test optional, but it's sort of a unique process. So happy to speak with you one-on-one about that. Welcome to Les Roches, one of the world's leading hospitality business schools founded in 1954. We teach the Swiss way, immersive, hands-on, and always with an eye to your future career. Ranked among the top 3 institutions worldwide for hospitality education, Les Roches prepares entrepreneurial and innovative graduates. Oops, sorry about that. Before we examine the details of the bachelor's degree, let's take a moment to talk about what we mean when we say hospitality. The traditional hospitality industry includes hotels and resorts, and restaurants and bars, of course, as well as events and travel. The expansion of the hospitality industry to now include the experience economy, a new area of focus across many industries, from real estate to luxury retail to social media, including all types of client services and interactions that prioritize the consumer experience. Our excellent reputation as one of the top hospitality schools means we have a long list of international companies eager to take on interns and graduates from Les Roches. Real-world experience plays a key role in your Les Roches education. Professional internships, of which there are 2 built into the undergraduate program, as well as business field trips and consultancy projects, give you a chance to apply all that you've learned gain new insights, and grow your industry network. 94% of our graduates have at least one job offer upon completion of their studies, ranging from luxury retail marketing to investment banking to user experience development at top Silicon Valley companies. As you can see from this slide, our internship and job placements are diverse, ranging from large hotel groups like the Ritz-Carlton to investment banks like JP Morgan to luxury retailers like Louis Vuitton. Our two main campuses are in Bluche and Crans-Montana, Switzerland, and in Marbella, Spain. Our student body comprises over 100 nationalities, with approximately 7% of our students hailing from the Americas, and the majority of our students, 44%, coming from Europe. Our Swiss campus is nestled in a charming village in the Alps. We have an active student life on campus with groups like Sharp Speakers, which is a public speaking organization, to the Arts Society, to student government. We host events like Cultural Night, Les Roches Got Talent, and the World of Wines Expo. Physical activities are abundant in Switzerland. And both campuses are located within a short train or plane ride to major European cities, and many students travel over the weekend to places like Paris, Geneva, Barcelona, and even Marrakesh. In Marbella, students enjoy the mild climate by sailing, playing golf, and enjoying water sports year-round. Marbella is known as the jewel of the Costa del Sol in the south of Spain. It's one of Europe's top luxury tourism destinations and boasts a rich Mediterranean culture and international population. Of course, the cornerstone of our program are the academics. Here is a linear representation of our 3.5-year bachelor program. As I mentioned before, 2 paid full-time internships are incorporated into the program, and students will go abroad to pursue their internship, assisted by our full-time internship office that organizes recruiting events and prepares the students to interview with our industry partners. You will also notice above each semester, we have identified a specific theme for that semester. Initially, it's practical arts. It moves on after the professional internship to fundamentals of business, hospitality. Again, another internship then moves on to business integration and strategies. And finally, in the final semester are the specializations. We offer 4 specializations depending upon students' specific interests and what we perceive to be industry trends and needs. These evolve every few years based on an ever-changing hospitality landscape. Both campuses offer hospitality entrepreneurship and digital marketing strategies. And at the Spain campus, we have resort development and management. And at our Swiss campus, we have hotel financial performance management. If this sounds like a great fit for your interests, we have a fantastic summer experience program for high school students offered at both our Swiss and Spanish campuses. The program offers an overview of the bachelor's program in hospitality management and a brief introduction to the specializations. It's an ideal opportunity to explore this path before committing to our very focused program. I'm very happy to connect with anyone who's interested to answer questions or provide more information after the presentation. Please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Stacy. At this point, I would like to have all of our presenters turn their cameras and their microphones back on so we can do a quick round robin question. So a little added benefit for our students who have participated today. And I would love to hear from all of you, and we'll go in the same order that you presented. What kind of advice would you give a student who is starting this college search journey? We'll start with Michelle from UCI.
Hey everyone, some advice that I'm definitely giving students is, even though this is a really weird way to have to search for a college, and I'm sure you did not envision it this way, you probably thought you were going to go visit a lot of places, but one of the great things about this is that students are more accessible than ever. Normally, I don't get to take students on the road with me and have them talk to you about their experience. And I know so many of my colleagues at other institutions are also doing student panels and ways for you to connect. So that's definitely a piece of advice of go ahead and reach out and take advantage, because that's a great way to get a sense of campus, is what the students are like. The other thing I always say is go ahead and have that conversation now with your parents about finances and being realistic about it. It's so much better to do that now rather than once you've applied and have your heart set on a dream school, only to find out that it's not in your family's financial plan.
Excellent. Leanne.
I would recommend looking far and wide across the world. There'll be no other time in your life where you have the so little responsibility and roots to stay somewhere. So look as far as you can. I've personally studied in 5 countries, and I tell students to beat me and make it 6 or 7, because there's so many incredible opportunities out there. And you'll be surprised how many organizations are happy to offer scholarships as well.
Excellent. Todd.
Well, first of all, I think back to when I was a senior in high school 35 years ago and being really overwhelmed about what do I want to study? Do I want to be big or small? So if you're there, don't stress. You're going to figure it out and it's going to be okay. In terms of going abroad, tap into resources as a result of the pandemic that we now offer virtual tours of the campus or take a live tour of a, dormitory. So those are great ways. And I think also, as Michelle said, we all have opportunities to connect with current students. It's one thing for us to tell you what it's like, but to hear from them. Finally, we really would love for you to come to do an entire degree with us abroad. But if you decide that's not it, also think about that, we all are going to have great exchange partners and that you could do a semester, but we do hope that it does wind up coming to be a full degree abroad.
Excellent. Kendall.
Yeah, don't be afraid to reach out to your admissions counselor, whether it's here or abroad, and someone in the admissions office, whether it's your representative or someone else in the office that could help you. Don't be afraid to send them an email, ask to set up a meeting. We're all here to help you. So that is a great way to get your questions answered. So just don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help.
And Stacy.
Hi, I think it's important to think about visiting schools locally. So maybe you can't make the trip abroad or even out to the West Coast, but visit schools within your own state within a couple of hours drive to sort of explore a big school, a small school. You can go to a hospitality info session. You can go to an engineering info session. And even though that might not be the exact school you're thinking of, the look and feel and general information will probably be very useful.
Outstanding. Thank you all for that. To all of our attendees, again, thank you for being here with us today. When you close out of this session, there will be a quick survey that pops up, just 4 questions. If you could take a few seconds, answer those, that will help us as we prepare for our next round of virtual college fairs. And like I said, there are no more sessions to sign up for tonight, but there will be another college fair later this spring. So keep your eyes open for that registration. And if you want to go back and review anything you saw tonight, or even a school that maybe you missed along the way, all of those recordings will be found at strivescan.com/Carolinas. So again, on behalf of the StriveScan team, on behalf of CACRAO and all of our presenters, thank you for joining us and have a good evening.